Hello, fellow economists. My name is Clayton Holland, and today I'll be talking about college, putting on the pressure. So, for my communication project, I've decided to choose the comparison of going to college for first 4 years after high school or whatnot versus going into a labor or service industry for the first 4 years off of college, or that you would be off of high school. So, with that, it kind of brings us to the trade-off aspect. So, with the trade-off on putting on the pressure, by pressure washing, coming out of high school instead of going to college, you would have those first 4 years to build capital and save for your next move. This could either be a bigger, bigger equipment, adding to your books of clients, or using that money as a down payment on a house. On the contrary to the trade-off is aspiring for higher education to hopefully earn a higher salary after college. So by having no degree, going pressure washing, you need to build your own skill sets to market that to potential employers if you don't end up working for yourself. Many college graduates have the reliance of themselves just by having the degree to kind of advertise themselves for other positions and other corporations and stuff. So with that, there is an opportunity cost. So if you decide to not work for your first 4 years of college, you're going to be using all that time accumulating debt and that you would have to pay back in the future. By going into a labor industry such as pressure washing or soft washing or house detailing, you'll be able to build something that you have in the end. It's really up to the individual at that point to for how far they take it, but that's one of the risks of not going to college and getting a degree that can make you marketable. With that, according to the textbook on page 2, it talks about scarcity and how it is everywhere. There is demand-induced scarcity and supply-induced scarcity. With that, demand-induced scarcity occurs when, let's just say here in Pinellas County, how we have a ton of residential and commercial businesses that are constantly getting foot traffic, and everybody's looking for the next place to spend their dollars. So by having a pressure cleaning business, the market may not be as saturated as you think. So with that, you may easily control a large portion of the market share, so much so that it would be worth doing that over spending 4 years getting a degree in college to then apply for a job to work your way up from the bottom. According to students.collegefactual.com, demand-induced scarcity oftentimes comes in the forms of waves, and when change happens, and supply-induced scarcity often comes in times of like hurricanes or a natural disaster, or maybe something gets popular really fast, so that need needs to be filled. Also, there's a trade-off with higher education. According to TNF Online, higher salary or higher GPA. So with a higher GPA, you'd be able to potentially go to a doctorate or master's program to hopefully increase your overall earnings in the future. But having a higher salary, potentially that might mean working for yourself or starting low in a corporation and trying to work your way up until you're at a higher point. So you really just have to balance grades with expected earnings in the future. As noted by CNBC, but many college graduates that go for a higher education do not end up getting it. They end up getting the education, but not the benefits that that degree could give them. So a lot of times after graduating, many college graduates settle for a salary of around $28,000, which is a lot of entry-level jobs can make that easily in a year. So that's why I make the point of like pressure washing and how that type of labor business could have a lot more potential to grow over those 4 years that they're not spending going to school and building debt. Also, according to educationcareer.com, job scarcity and satisfaction is another thing that you must weigh for the long term. So being young and energetic now, it might be easier to go into a labor business or service industry like pressure washing, but considering when you're older and if you're still working when you're in your 40s and 50s and maybe even early 60s, then you got to consider the wear on your body and how you'll be feeling then about that industry. It's known that there's a lot more job satisfaction with the people that kind of choose their industry and learn about it and kind of gauge for the future to see where they'll be personally. Yeah, in all, a comparison of putting on the pressure in college. So my take, I'm still going to go through college and I'm going to get a degree just because you need to be able to market yourself right. But with that, you can still be building something along coincide while you're getting that degree. So, with that, go ahead and make your time useful and decide for yourself, college or starting now earning. It's for you to decide. Thanks and have a nice day. Oh, there's my works cited page.